Resident FNAF man and all things Freddy Fazbear. Sauce of the regular variety. I've appeared from the darkness yet again to bring you another fun, informative, and all-around history of the, albeit still in production hell, Five Nights at Freddy's feature film. In this video, I'll be diving headfirst into the wacky production timeline that's led up to the present day of what we know about the movie. So sit back, grab yourself some Bonnie Bites, and dive headfirst with me into the concrete pit that is... On the subject of FNAF, I should probably mention today's sponsor, YouTube's. I don't usually do sponsorships, but I've been collecting YouTube's figures for a while, and when they reached out to me I figured this would be a good fit for the video. Recently, they've released some Security Breach and Fanverse figures that they've sent to me. As someone who's been around since official merch first started coming out, I can easily say these are the most high-quality Five Nights at Freddy's figures to date. There hasn't been much good Security Breach merch, so seeing these super high-quality glam rock figures really makes me happy. Roxy's my personal favorite because of how much detail they put into the hair and clothes. Freddy's a close second though because obviously it's Freddy. Who doesn't like Freddy? If you don't like Freddy, something's wrong with you. They're also releasing some figures based on the new Fanverse games. If you've been excited for any Fanverse content like I've been, these figures are a must-have. It's definitely surreal to see these characters get official merch, and they'll make a great addition to any FNAF collection. You can get the Security Breach figures on their website right now, and the Fanverse wave releases on September 16th with Pop Goes, Ignited Freddy, and Candy. Alright, okay, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, okay, let's go. In order to properly explain the origin of the movie and where it started, we would first need to go back to a time way before. A date so far back, not even the eldest of elders can recall it. 2015. Back in the year of 2015, it was announced that WB, or more commonly known as Warner Brothers, acquired the rights to produce the film adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's, with Roy Lee, David Katzenberg, and Seth Graham Smith to produce the film. Pretty soon after this initial announcement, it was confirmed that Gil Kennan of Monster House fame would be directing the project. At this point, the movie was originally slated for a 2016-2017 release window. Scott Cawthon announced on Steam that the original 3 games were being planned as a trilogy of movies, though this is the only time we've heard anything about more than one movie being planned since. We got multiple teases for the film, and a few glimpses behind the scenes of how the film would look and feel. Gil Kennan would show animatronic shells and eyes from Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Though nothing was concrete, things were definitely looking interesting to say the least. While there were long moments of silence about development of the movie, in January 2017, Scott stated on Steam that they were back at square one, but still to expect some surprises by the end of the year. From what we found out, it seemed like after multiple delays and what we can only assume to be script changes being pushed by Warner Brothers, Scott Cawthon decided the film would be pushed back and given to a company that could handle the project. In early 2017, Gil Kennan confirmed his adaptation of FNAF was cancelled. While everything went silent for a moment, it wasn't long until an announcement was made. In February 2018, we got new news about the movie via a single tweet by Scott Cawthon. This is his first and only tweet ever. This tweet was showing the new studio producing the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and Freddy Fazbear's director chair, revealing that Freddy Fazbear is in fact real and directing the movie. This image took the fandom by storm, realizing that the same studio that brought us many great names in horror movies was now handling and producing one of the most hyped up video game adaptations ever. With Scott and WB officially parting ways, and production going into the hands of Blumhouse, a new path was set forward for everything to finally come together. Or so we thought. We got very few updates for a long while, with the most notable exception being the second teaser image posted by Blumhouse, which revealed a new director for the film, Chris Columbus. Obviously, this image sent everyone spiraling. I think it's an absolute dream come true to have a FNAF movie made by the same man that made... It wouldn't be until late 2020 where Scott would make a post on Reddit explaining the current status of the FNAF movie, in the form of scrapped screenplays over the years. This post kinda came out of nowhere, and it really only confirmed the movie is still happening. The most notable thing to take away from this post is that there is now officially a script they're going with. But if you've been following the project for as long as it's been announced, this is definitely a cool look into some stuff we could have had if Scott had cared less about what came of the movie. Here's a few of my favorite of the bunch. Alright, I gotta call Scott Cawthon to record this stuff for me. Hey Scott, I need you to record some stuff for me again. No, you can't have my bank details. No, I'm not giving you my Google password either. Okay, maybe you can have that.
Okay. Basic setup. Group of teenage troublemakers break into Freddy's. Chaos ensues. Problems. Although a pretty basic setup, there are a lot of odd choices here, which only got weirder as the story continued. The story ended with our protagonist in a secret underground animatronic factory that was designing robots for the government. Verdict? What the strayed way too far from the source material. Cost. Okay, basic setup. Kira and I both worked on 3 versions of the Silver Eye screenplay over the course of about a year, trying to find the right approach to the story from the first book. Problems? These were the first attempts I made myself to write a screenplay after realizing it was going to be difficult to find someone else who understood the lore well enough to do it. Unfortunately, it also meant these screenplays suffered greatly from my inexperience at writing. Even Kira, with her writing expertise, couldn't save them. Verdict? Although these had some good elements, I ultimately decided to focus on making a screenplay from the games and not from the books.
And here's my buddy Reagan's personal favorite.
The Cassidy screenplay. Well, basic setup. Diving deep, this screenplay packed in a lot of lore, following the story of Cassidy. Problems? Spanning multiple time periods, following multiple characters, and featuring lore from multiple games, this was pretty saturated to a fault. It may have been satisfying to the most hardcore fans, but it would have left the majority of people confused and lost. Hey, wait, maybe this was the most accurate screenplay. Verdict? Ultimately more of a visual encyclopedia than a movie. This just wasn't satisfying, even to me. Out.
Though all these scripts seem promising, it was ultimately decided that the new and perfected idea for the script would come in the form of
the Mike screenplay. Basic setup. This makes sense. Why didn't I think of this before? Problems? Actually, this is a good mix. It has the best pieces from all the previous screenplays. Not really any problems here. All the right characters, all the right motivations, all the right stakes. The verdict? Yeah, we're going with this one. It's fun, it's scary, and it's a great central story.
Alright, well, Scott Cawthon now owns the rights to my kidneys. For real though, it was needless to say people were skeptical when this was announced. I wasn't sure how to feel myself. It was potentially a worrying approach to take the film, but Scott assured everybody he was heading the operation. After whatever went down with WB, he was ensuring that this film would be up to snuff with his own vision of what it should be like. We wouldn't receive any new updates until the year 2020, where it was announced that director, Chris Columbus, actually resigned and quit the FNAF movie altogether, leaving us, again, without a known director for the project. Since this point, it has not been confirmed if the movie has a notable director attached. When asked, Jason Blum said it is classified information. We wouldn't receive much in terms of news. It was also around this time that Scott Cawthon would retire, and the future of Five Nights at Freddy's was really unknown. Security breach was also underway at this point, but we really didn't know what was going to happen with that either after all the delays. It wasn't until 2022 that we finally started getting hints and teases from Jason Blum. In his words, the movie would be releasing very soon, and that progress was coming along. This is about 7 years after the movie has first been revealed, so you can imagine that everybody was a little bit skeptical. During an interview in March, Jason said that we are
dangerously close. I will say that. We are dangerous.
This was a lie. Months and months went by. I personally stalked CinemaCon in case we got an announcement, which didn't happen, and Johnny Blocks is now on the list for wasting 3 hours of my life. I was starting to lose hope. Jason, if you're seeing this, if I ever get to work with you, I apologize. I apologize, Jason. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize, but you lied. It is now 4 months until the end of 2022. No news, no images, no cast list, no nothing. But the anniversary this year seemed like a good opportunity for news. As the days came closer and closer and closer, I was finally hoping that we would see anything. I'm starving! I'm gonna die in 3 minutes if I... There was not a single bit of information to give. Not a single hope or spark for the movie. Maybe it was really just cancelled. Or maybe it's been delayed indefinitely. I mean, it's been like 5 months since we were dangerously close. I'm just gonna crawl into my hole now and sleep. Huh? Who's begging me? I'm trying to sleep. Okay, fine. What do you want? Finally, one day after the anniversary, we finally got news. Our first look at the FNAF movie. It shows the man himself, Jim Henson, back from the dead, designing and producing a base for a Freddy suit using the actual in-game model. Okay, I'm more calm now. I'm relaxed. I'm fine. So, we finally got news regarding the FNAF movie in 2022. This image shows the people at Jim Henson's hard at work designing the suits for this movie to be close to the games as possible. This was an extremely exciting time for FNAF fans, albeit late. And me especially, as someone who's been fearing that the animatronics would be redesigned and lose all the features that make them iconic. Seeing a 3D printed maquette that's just straight up Scott's original model made me more relieved for the movie than ever. Because this is a channel mostly centered around cosplay, I should probably explain what exactly is going on here. This dude is getting the patterns off of a model sized to the proportions of a suit actor that will wear them. Once the patterns are retrieved from cutting off the tape they're using to pattern him, they're blown up using a projector and cut onto whatever foam they're gonna build him from. Sorry, I just really enjoy explaining this stuff. It's literally my dream come true to be working in this industry one day, so I've been researching it like my whole life. This image confirms that production is underway. I predict the movie will start filming by the end of the year and should wrap up around February, or sometime in late spring. I doubt there will be too much post-production needed, seeing as Jim Henson mostly focuses on actual animatronics when filming happens, so that'll be most of the work done. I don't think much CGI will be needed. I think we can all be rest assured that there will be more to come and keep us happy until this film releases. I am definitely excited, and if you aren't, how? So, to the people working on the FNAF movie, I applaud you for continuing your work and showing us fans, no matter how delayed this will be, that those working on it clearly care about what they're doing. Oh man, it feels so nice to know this is actually happening. I spent like 1/3 of my life waiting for the day to see these animatronics officially be made. Maybe one day I'll be able to have a go at it. Well, I'm gonna go back to stalking Jason Blum's Twitter until we get more news. Until then, I will see you all some other time, probably very soon. This month has been very hectic for me. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was in the works for a little while, and I kinda had a little bit of trouble trying to get it out in time by the end of the month. So, I hope I at least went over a few things people forgot about during the movie's long production time. I am still gonna be a little bit dead with content. I'm currently working on a bunch of NDA projects. Well, I can't really say anything about what I'm working on right now. Make sure to stay tuned on my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, everything else. I'm active on there. But I'll still be doing random videos like this every once in a while whenever I can. I hope you guys